what a mess. Right, morning guys. So today I am carrying on with the plumbing. I'm going to try and connect up this sink and tap. I did start this yesterday, so I've got a little bit done, and I did film some of it, but to be honest it was just a ball ache of a day. I'm one part short basically, and I'm in a really shitty mood, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to forget connecting all that up. I'm going to drill the holes in the floor, and then tomorrow Emily's going to go out and get me the bit I need now, and then tomorrow we'll try and connect it up. Yeah, today's a better day. The sun's shining, it's not raining for about the first time in 9 years, so yeah, let's try and get this fitted up. Right, so I'll quickly show you where we got to yesterday. So if you don't already know, we've got underslung water tanks. So I will need to bring the pipe work up through the underneath. So I got the holes drilled out. I thought I filmed that, but I didn't. I filmed myself putting the camera in place and then moving the camera when I finished, so God knows what I was thinking. But anyway, the reason I've had to come this way is because my chassis runs along here, and I've got very limited space on this back edge to bring them up through without hitting this batten, so I've just brought them in here, the same as they've done with the gas really. So yeah, I just used a normal hole saw for that. Went through alright, so I've just been underneath now and treated those, and then what I'm going to do is I've cut some, this is some 40mm plastic waste pipe. I've had to build it out a little bit with some close cell foam, and just a bit of tape is on there while the glue dried. But that's just literally to hold it in place. I won't put it all the way in because the sealant's still drying underneath, but yeah, that's just to hold it in place while I get underneath and run some sealant round, which should hold it permanently. And then I'll make, they're going to sit flush with the floor, and then what I'll probably do is make a little plate with the exact size hole of the pipe that's coming through. This is a shurflo trailking 7. This is pretty standard. I think most people go for these. 7 litres per minute, 30 psi pump. And you could probably get away with using that by itself, but I did order the shurflo filter, which would have been handy because it screws straight onto here, but it hasn't arrived. So I quickly popped out yesterday, and I say quickly, 4 hours later, popped out and bought this pump guard that I got from a chandlery Chandlers, I don't know what you call it, chandlery, who knows. Basically they sell stuff for like boats, so if you're ever stuck at a weekend for parts, they're pretty decent because a lot of the applications from boats to vans are similar. So I bought that, and then on the end of that run I'll need to fit up this accumulator, so they'll run like that. So the cold feed will come in here, into the filter, into the pump, accumulator, and then off to the tap. The reason you buy the accumulator, I think, is to help regulate the pressure. So there's like a diaphragm in there that moves up and down, and I think that's just to help with the flow of your water. So I've got some flexi hose that's going to come in, and then off of the pump side I'm just going, just because it's easily available in like plumb centre and stuff, is just this 15mm pipe with 15mm either push fit fittings or a couple of brass screw on fittings. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try and get that together. I'll probably bring the water in, and that's really easy. I've just got some inlets and outlets on the tank, and I literally just slide the pipe on and then Jubilee clip it on, so I don't think I really need to film that. Right, so this is what we've got. So filter, flexi pipe, Jubilee clipped on. What I've done here, you could just buy a plastic 12mm, is it 12 half-inch screw fit with one of these ends on, but I couldn't get one in the shop, so I've just bought 12 to 12 coupler, and then that bit off of there, and then here again you could go plastic only, but all I could get was this is 1/2 inch to 15mm, so 1/2 inch brass to 15mm push fit. Small bit of 15mm pipe into another 15mm push fit into another 1/2 inch brass that screws on there, and then I've got another one coming off, which means I'll just then run 15mm pipe up to this, which this is the cold feed and the hot feed going into the tap. I'm gonna connect those up with a T, and then I'll just go plastic pipe into those. So hopefully, and then what will happen, I think, is I'll just have, no matter what way I turn this, whether I go hot or cold, I'll just have cold all the time. The reason I'm connecting them both up rather than just capping one off is because if I cap one off, stagnant water will sit in that, and I'll either have to constantly empty it or it'll just sit in there going mangy. So yeah, I'm going to try it that way first. At least then I can run the cold, run the hot, and it will clean out. It will keep those pipes constantly in use, so that'll keep them clean. Yeah, so I just need to find somewhere to site this now. Right, so this is basically roughly where I'm at. I'm just gonna, obviously I'll tidy all this up afterwards, but for now I just want to get it connected up just to find out where the leaks in that are, fix all the leaks, make sure it's all working properly. I've connected my cables up to the pump before I installed it, just because it's easier to crimp on, because otherwise I would have been trying to crimp things on in there. So that's my feed that's got to go through there to the batteries. I'm using 2.5mm cable. I've only got a short run from here to the fuse box, and it's 2.5. I think it's 2.5. It doesn't say, but it looks like 2.5 already on there. So I'll drop that into this conduit with these cables, and that'll go off that way. Right, so I've sealed underneath, and I'm going to let that go off a little bit before I bring the pipes in. So I'm just going to, well, I've started wiring it up because I need to connect the pump and I need to connect up the water gauge. So if I get those connected, and then I'll be able to bring the pipes in and fit it all up, I think. Oi. Ah, space is an issue. Right. Come on, be lucky. Be lucky. Look at that, I need 2. I've got 2. So, connect these up carefully.
I just made the base of the cheesecake.
Cheesecake?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
That's what you want, isn't it?
What, cheesecake? Always. Put it on the coaster.
Where's the coaster? Where's the coaster?
You have to make one or something. Yeah. What cheesecake are we having?
Oreo.
Oreo based chocolatey top.
Yeah. What?
You tied it up.
Yeah. Let's to do bits as I go, otherwise it's just so much. What's these white bits, Louise?
That need them, they're clips.
They're clips.
Yeah.
God.
I know, it's a mess, isn't it?
Yeah. Why do you work like this?
I need all these things that are out, I need them. I'm using them right now.
Fine.
Is that all right with you?
Oh, is this all rubbish?
That's all rubbish, yeah. You excited by that? Ooh, because I can find you some more. Oh, you should be doing this.
What?
The electric.
Why?
Because your tiny little hands would be perfect. Yeah, here's some bits of rubbish. That's all I got.
Do you know what I mean? What's this?
Rubbish. Rubbish. I've got some more. That bit of wood on the floor with all that silicone on, that's rubbish. Right, so that's now connected. The pump runs to a switch here, here, and then over to our battery, well, to the fuse box and then to the batteries. And then from this water level gauge, I've got two cables coming down this hugely messy cableway, and then out of there, and I'll need to drop these ends out through these holes, and then underneath. So I've got a fitting like that. There's already one coming out of the water tank, so I need to connect that one up. And then these two go directly onto two little probes that come out of the waste tank. So yeah, I need to drop them through now before I forget, because I will. And then I'm going to bring my pipes in. Right, for the waste I've bought this silicone two-man job. I bought this convoluted pipe, but it's smooth on the inside so that all the crap doesn't get caught up in these ridges. So I need a Jubilee clip, big enough for that. Holy muppet. So the smart thing to do is put the Jubilee clip on first, bell end. Right, so I'm going to connect up the cold for now, but I am going to put a stopcock in. I might put two in. I might put one before the filter, and I might put one after the accumulator, and then I can isolate just that section if I need to work on it or whatnot. But I just want to see if it works first, so I'm just going to connect it up. And then I've moved the sealant obviously hasn't gone off, so I've moved that, so that'll need resealing. I need another Jubilee clip. Right, okay, this is where we're at. So, feed is coming in connected to that. Like I say, I will put a stopcock on there once I've eliminated any leaks. That's the waste coming in. We had a bit of silicone issue, but that should be okay. We filled up the water tank, and that gauge seems to be working. So you just press that and it tells you what you got. And then that should go red when the waste is full, but I can't test that yet. So Emily's bought a towel. We're just going to lay that down under there, turn it all on, and see what happens, really. Right.
We should have hoovered down there.
Yeah, when I've finished.
Well, that dust gets all wet.
That's why I've got this towel. How many leaks do you think?
Well, deciding on your from your plumbing before of the toilet, I'm gonna
that
say.
wasn't my fault.
Okay.
I reckon 4 leaks or 1 that I can't fix.
It's gonna be one you can't fix.
Yeah, I need a new part or something. Right, so power's on, so the pump's on that switch. Oh, it's doing something. Oh, I see water. I can see it coming through that pipe. It's there.
Oh yeah.
There. Accumulator. Flux capacitor. Right, so that's pressurised, I would think. So all we've got to do now is open the tap.
Oh, turn it on, turn it on.
No, there was a thing in the manual. Hold on. For some reason, this tap, you have to run it, you have to take this off. It said do not lose this rubber insert. And it said I have to run it for so long. Right, can you watch the waste? Because I'm not 100% convinced of this fitting here. So if it's going to leak now, it could leak from anywhere. Ready?
Yep.
Look at that! We've got water. Oh, I got the plug in. Oh.
You're such
I needed to test the plug. Right, you ready?
All
now
right.
There's a lot of water that might come out.
Yep. So far, so good. Don't use that water, it's taking us half hour to fill it up.
Oh, there's loads in there. Right, you got any leaks? See any leaks?
No.
Nah, that can't be right. Nothing ever goes right first time.
Not for you anyway.
The tap says I've got to run this for 30 seconds like this.
Water.
Ooh, ah. That's the most exciting thing. Right, so now I can put this thing.
No, my bed will be the most exciting thing for me.
Oh, you mop here. I've let go of the thing.
You got a little bit too excited then, didn't you?
New one. I don't know how this thing works.
Press the buttons.
That's like a stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on.
Ooh,
Shower
look
power.
at that. Lovely.
Right, so it's pretty much done. So I'm really happy with how it's gone. Actually, we've had, apart from yesterday getting all the pieces, today we've had absolutely no issues. It's been a bit fiddly and a bit awkward, but again, it's like anything in the van. There's just less space. So I'll show you where we're at, and then, well, where it's. I think we're pretty much. I might put one more stopcock in, but we'll see. So we'll have a quick look. So I've had a bit of a tidy up with the cables and whatnot. That's the stopcock that I put in on this side. Like I say, I might put one in just after the accumulator, just so I can isolate the section, but for now, it'll do. So yeah, tidied up those cables a bit. Really happy with the pump, actually. Works really well, loads of pressure, because I'm in an R in between the trailking 7 and the 10, but the 7, if you're just running a sink, and probably even for a shower to be fair, this 7 is absolutely fine. I really like it, and it's not too noisy. I mean, it's a bit noisy when it's running, but you know, it's not always going to be running. I probably will I might extend this piece of pipe so that I can sight this somewhere properly, because at the minute it's in a bit of a silly place, so that needs sighting. And then everything was either just screw on brass fittings, so for everything like that there and there, I've used PTFE tape on the joint. Then I've got the speed fit 15mm push fit fittings. They don't need anything apart from make sure you put a plastic insert in the pipe. And then I've got one compression fitting, and for that don't use PTFE. The olive inside, the little metal bit that you'll get in there, that just sits over the pipe, and then when the nut is tightened up, the olive creates the seal, so you don't need PTFE in those. But then this isn't compression, this is just thread, so again PTFE. Yeah, and then the waste coming out. This is the only sort of waste thing I could find that I could convert down to this, and then run this pipe out. So yeah, that's it. Tap works well. So it's 7 litres per minute. So for argument's sake, our tank will hold 86 litres, I think. So 86 litres, 7 litres per minute. We could run that tap for about 12.5 minutes before we run out of water, which doesn't sound long, but really 12.5 minutes is quite a long time. So we'll see how we go when we get to it. But I might also add, because for our drinking water, that'll be in like a little jerry can, like a little, I don't know, 5-10 litre, probably 10 litre plastic jerry can. I may add another little tap with a submersible pump that goes into that. But this will all be fine for like washing up, washing ourselves, washing the dog. Yeah, and probably boiling it up in a kettle, boil it, anything you boil for cooking, I think it'll be fine, as long as we keep the tanks clean. That's it really. Not a lot to say. Yeah, it didn't feel much. Hopefully you found it a little bit helpful. It's relatively easy really. I mean, it's just basic plumbing. It's a simple sink. But yeah, thanks again guys for watching. Please remember, we get a lot of view time from people that aren't subscribed, so if you watch every week, just hit the subscribe button, because it kind of helps us out. So yeah, I mean, if you don't want to, you don't have to. It's not a problem. I won't know. But yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll see you next time.